I mean, I was on board with this one before there was even a name for the character, before there was a world drawn. I just knew I wanted to work with Erica again. We did a short film called Little Chief. You can watch it on YouTube. You can see how this artist turned 7 pages into something that feels like a feature. And before I even left set, I wanted to ask Erica if she would consider making a feature that I could be in. And before I even had the chance to ask her, she said, "Can I write a feature for you?" I'm like, "Yes, please." So I knew that Jax was going to exist in some form to resemble what we did with Little Chief, and go watch that film if you're curious as to why. And then when I read the script for the first time, I was so swept into it. I wasn't even necessarily projecting myself into it. I just fell in love with these characters in this world, and had a moment where I was a little afraid I wasn't going to be able to rise to the occasion. But I mean, I know Erica wanted me for it. She wrote it for me. And it's such a, just like Little Chief, the immensity of what she and Miciana in this collaboration have been able to accomplish in a pretty tight narrative, a tight feature. There is such an expanse of millennia-long history that's just, it's gestured at, it's there for people who understand it, but it also exists very well in its own little world at face value. This matrilineal love story, we're told that the great love stories on screen are romantic, sweeping epics, but the commitment of this aunt to her niece, to her community, to the legacy of her sister, to searching for her sister, that's the greatest love story that's never told, but is the love story that's kept Indigenous peoples alive. It's kept us around. It's kept us connected to our land, our culture, to each other, and it's so rooted, especially in Seneca-Cayuga, a lot of nations around our matriarchs. I think Killers of the Flower Moon did a lot to establish Native people in an environment where you're not used to seeing us. The 1920s is, in comparison to the old Westerns, a contemporary story, and you're seeing Natives with money. And then today, Fancy Dance is same land 100 years later, and much of the same stories. We're dealing with a lot of the same issues that have manifest across the decades in different ways. But bringing Native peoples and bringing this language, Seneca-Cayuga language, that was just spoken by less than 20 people who are still alive in the world, into a modern setting, it's revolutionary.